From Lagos, Nigeria, this is News Central. I am Felicity Ezewike. The top stories tonight. Lagos lawmakers pass vote of confidence in new Speaker Mojisola Meranda following invasion of assembly by men of the state service. Federal government calls for humane process as United States sets to deport 85 Nigerians. European Union holds emergency summit in Paris as Ukraine and Russia prepare for peace talks. In business, African Union names Nigeria digital trade champion, spotlighting leadership in tech innovation. And in sport, five-time African champion Aruna Quadri set for title defense at the 2025 ITT Africa Cup in Tunis. Details of these stories and more after this short break. Thank you for joining us. A palpable tension gripped the Lagos State House of Assembly on Monday as lawmakers condemned the presence of armed security officers on the premises, denouncing it as a blatant attempt to undermine their democratic prerogative to elect a leader. The police presence at the State Assembly is not unconnected with the ouster of Mudashiru Obasa as Speaker and his subsequent replacement with Miranda by the legislators. A development the former has gone on to challenge in court. Undeterred, the members reaffirmed their unwavering support for the new Speaker with a unanimous vote of confidence in her leadership. News Center's Chidimma Ona captured the incident.
It was an emotional moment in the Lagos State House of Assembly as Speaker Mojisola Meranda sat, tears streaming down her cheeks, while members voiced their unwavering support for her leadership. Lawmakers also condemned the presence of armed security personnel outside the assembly, calling it an unjustified interference in legislative process.
Our fathers fought for democracy. Some laying down their lives for democracy. Is this the way to pay them? What has happened this afternoon is, to say the least, condemnable, reprehensible, worrisome, and pedestrian. So unprofessional from the GSS.
That the governor of River State, that all our political leaders to stop this renegade before it reaches to death of any members of the Lagos State House of Assembly, because the House has been desecrated and armed to come to the chamber with weapons.
The controversy surrounding the security deployment has only strengthened the lawmakers' resolve. They insist that a choice of speaker must stand and that no external pressure will deter them from upholding democratic principles.
On behalf of the entire members that are seated here today, 36 of us that are seated here today, that we have elected you as our speaker and that we have removed the former speaker as our speaker. Madam Speaker, we are calling on our father. He's a father of 40 members that he has raised over time, 40 members that he has nurtured to people we have today, 40 members that we served him and he believed in us. Madam Speaker, we are calling on our president to help us.
That is the law. This is an act, a federal act, protecting this chamber from what happened today. So I want to join my colleagues in calling on the DSS to address the invasion of this parliament.
With political tension still high, lawmakers have passed a vote of confidence on Mojisola Miranda, sending a strong message that the legislative arm of government will not be undermined. In Lagos, reporting for News Central, I am Chidimma Ona.
For a conversation on this development, I'm now joined by a political analyst, Mujid Jamiu. Good to have you on the news, and thanks for giving us your time. Please help us make sense of events today. On the one hand, we understand that Obasa recently filed a suit in court and has requested accelerated hearing of the case. And then, on the other hand, we're hearing that there is a letter written, quoted in the media by the acting clerk of the House, urging the DSS to deploy operatives ahead of plenary today over concerns about Obasa's plan to resume as Speaker. If this is true, does it mean that Obasa doesn't have faith in the court process and decided to resort to self-help? And who are the people agreeing to be used? And then on the other hand, if the DSS was invited, why does it seem that there was a clash today between the lawmakers and the security operatives that were there? What it would be your interpretation of these events?
Thank you, Felicity. It's like you've asked 10 questions, which I'll try to unpack one after the other. Yes, on Friday, news went around that the impeached speaker, Mudashiru Adayo Obasa, had approached the Lagos High Court so that he could be reinstated as, his prayer is that he should be reinstated as speaker. Well, without preempting what the court will rule on, it is only the members that can take that decision to reinstate him. Even if the court rules, I'm not trying to preempt what the court will say. Even if the court rules, the lawmakers will go to...
Sorry to interrupt you as you're just getting started. Sorry to interrupt you as you're just getting started. My prelude was to give you like a background and then get to understand what your own personal interpretation is of today's events.
Yes, basically, I see a situation where Obasa, after going to court, tried to jump the process. After going to court, you ought to have allowed the court to take to see that process through, because as we speak, I mean, videos have emerged about a rally he held today in Agege. I mean, at a time, the DSS was locking up so you see like a sort of coincidence in this actions, I mean, the activities that happened. And now back to the letter written by the clerk, the acting clerk of the House, Mr. Otun. Yes, the letter was actually written because according to a press statement by the Chairman House Committee on Information Strategy and Security today, that's Honorable Ogundipe Stephen Olukayode. He said, yes, they wrote that letter to the DSS that is to forestall a situation where the court process which Obasa instituted, which is started on Friday, will lead to a breakdown of law and order. So they were trying to preempt a situation where some people want to seize the opportunity to take laws into their hand. That was why he, on behalf of on the directive of the Speaker and members of the House, wrote to the DSS, and that is not the first time the House will be writing to the DSS to offer protection or to beef up security. But that in this instance, when the DSS came, to their dismay, the House members discovered that the office of the Speaker, the office of the Deputy Speaker, the office of the acting clerk, and the legislative chambers were all under lock and key, with security men, DSS officials, stationed there in their numbers, and that before now, when they request the service of the DSS, what they normally do is to station themselves at the gate and profile those who will enter into the assembly complex, not into the legislative chambers. So, that issue, they said it called for concern that they had to challenge the DSS officials. We said we should provide security, but we didn't tell you to come and lock us up. So, you can see the imbroglio that ensued, and they had, the civil servants in the House of Assembly forced their way into the chambers and ushered the Speaker and other legislators into the chamber where they passed a vote of confidence on the Speaker, Madam Lasbat Miranda.
Okay, I would have loved to take on the argument that you put up now that the need for security was as a result of Obasa's court case. I mean, when a case is brought to the courts, you're supposed to wait for the court to react before you take any action. But that's on the side. I'd rather want us to go on and look at Miranda's emotional response to the show of support by members who have now passed a vote of confidence on her leadership. The argument, again, here is that this is the same people who passed a similar vote on Obasa before the falling out and what with the crisis that we have today. So how assertive is this vote in the larger scheme of things, like wide media report speculating about her imminent resignation?
Well, you see, a lot of things happened today, and I must say that, the kind of situation we had today at the Assembly could only have been imagined under an Abacha as a military dictator, and even not under a Babangida or not under Abdulsalami Abubakar, but under a maximum ruler like Sani Abacha. So it's a rape on democracy for the DSS under a democratic rule under a President Tinubu, who also fought for democracy, for this kind of thing to happen. You can see the woman, she was shedding tears, and because she couldn't believe this, that this could happen under a democratic dispensation. So, and I think the president should intervene. And see, Felicity, I think we should also note something there. Is it a sheer coincidence that today, Monday, February 17, the police commissioner in Lagos was redeployed. The director of the state security was redeployed today. Could that be a coincidence? And the DSS invading the house and Obasa having a rally in Agege. When you add all this together, you want to wonder, it couldn't have been a sheer coincidence. I don't want to I think the president should intervene, because
I need to interject and just ask you.
Yes.
You're talking about these redeployment and the possibility that there is a connection here. On the one hand, you're also talking about the presidency intervening, the president in particular intervening. This redeployment happens from the top. It doesn't happen on the state level. So if you're asking that the top echelons react, are they not the one making these decisions? Because there will be no way deployment of DSS will happen without the highest authority knowing about it.
See, Lagos is a very peaceful state, and I've heard stakeholders in Lagos speaking today that they are ready, not even the lawmakers now, stakeholders like Fuadoki, and several others, GSC members, saying they are ready to defend the mandate given to Miranda. You see, Obasa, yes, was given a vote of confidence was passed in him November 21st, 2024. January 13, he was removed. You see, there are 40 members. They are all forced among equals. You are not voted in to become a speaker, unlike a governor or a deputy governor who fill the form that, yes, I'm running for the position of governor, I'm running for the position of deputy governor. But in this case, you filled a form with INEC that you are running for Agege constituency, Mushin constituency. It is when you get to the house that you now decide, the members will now decide, we want one of us. They call it primus inter pares. first among equals. So they can decide that a speaker who failed to greet them in the morning, in the afternoon, they will remove him. They don't need to give any reason. Whether you are there or not, 32 members voted to impeach or remove or get Obasa to step aside. So whether it's there or not,
have to leave it there for now. It's like you really can't hear me, and it's looking like I'm interjecting all the time, but we don't have much time anymore. Thank you so much for speaking with us.
Thank you very much, Felicity.
Yeah, I'm sure this case is just getting warmed up, but we hope that sanity is restored soon. Coming up on tonight, pandemonium in Osun State as sacked council officials attempt to reclaim office. That's after the break. Stay with us. Thank you for staying with us. You're watching tonight on News Central. A reminder for top stories. Lagos lawmakers pass vote of confidence in new Speaker Mojisola Meranda following invasion of assembly by men of the state service. Federal government calls for humane process as United States set to deport 85 Nigerians. European Union holds emergency summit in Paris as Ukraine and Russia prepare for peace talks. The Osun State Caucus of Lawmakers in the National Assembly has condemned the alleged attempt by sacked local government council officials to reclaim office, despite a standing Court of Appeal ruling in Akure against their reinstatement. Speaking on behalf of 11 other lawmakers, Bamidele Salam, a member of the House of Representatives, expressed concern over what he described as a breakdown of law and order in the state. He reaffirmed the Parliament's commitment to upholding democratic principles. Salam also accused security personnel in the state of aiding the act and called on President Bola Tinubu to intervene. He further urged the All Progressive Congress leadership in Osun to abide by the rule of law. Former Senate President and Chairman Board of Trustees of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Adolphus Wabara, says no one can remove him from the party. He made this vow during the 80th birthday celebration of former Secretary to the Abia State Government, Eme Okoro, at the International Conference Center in Umuahia, Abia State, before a large gathering of PDP members and Governor Alex Oti. He says he will continue to commend the governor for his developmental strides, irrespective of party affiliations. Recall that the State Executive Committee recently announced the suspension of Wabara from the party over alleged comments that Governor Alex Oti's second term was assured.
You man can see what is happening in Abia. And I'm saying this again now, maybe they should now see this. I was suspended, it should not expel me. But having said so, sir, continue with the good works our ancestors in Abia and with you. Because I believe in this party. No option can push me out of this party. I'll try my level best.
One of our top stories tonight, Minister of State for Foreign Affairs Bianca Odumegwu-Ojukwu has urged the U.S. to follow established protocols when deporting immigrants. Speaking after a meeting with U.S. Ambassador Richard Mills Jr., she expressed concerns over the potential suspension of the Dropbox visa system and the impact of deportations on Nigerians. She revealed that 201 Nigerians are in U.S. immigration camps, with 85 cleared for deportation. Bianca called for humane deportation procedures and clarity on student visa policies. The ambassador, however, assured that the Dropbox system is under review, not suspended, and that U.S. aid remains committed to humanitarian aid. He further confirmed that deported Nigerians will be returned to Lagos with initial repatriations involving convicted criminals and immigration violators. Still ahead on the news, residents of Benue community flee their homes after gruesome attacks that killed at least 19 people. Details after this break. At least 6 civilians were killed in a mistaken airstrike by the Nigerian army in Katsina State. Residents say an army jet dropped a bomb on huts in Zaka village, Safana district on Saturday while pursuing bandits who had earlier attacked a police base, killing 3 security personnel. The Nigerian military has yet to comment, but Amnesty International reports the death toll at 10 and is demanding an urgent investigation. This is the latest in a series of accidental military airstrikes in northern Nigeria, with previous incidents killing dozens of civilians. Authorities continue battling criminal gangs terrorizing communities, but residents fear the increasing toll of collateral damage. Contrary to the former situation of having no business activities whatsoever due to the Monday sit-at-home in the entire southeast region, residents of Owerri, the Imo State capital, seem to have picked up their pieces and resumed normal lifestyle. While there are seemingly skeletal movements and activities this Monday morning, there are certainly those who are yet to change their condition. News Centre's Chinwe Ugele in Owerri brings us details of our experience.
Who would have thought that after nearly 4 years of inactivity on Mondays in the southeast, the people can still muzzle the courage to trade, school, work and move about freely on a Monday? This is the story of Owerri, the capital of Imo State, about a Monday in recent times.
For me, I can easily say that the thing is coming down, small, gradually. Not that the government has won, but they're on the right track.
In Imo State now, especially in Owerri town now, there's not anything like any security or any bad news. No, Imo State is calm since last year, November till now.
At the different markets visited, such as Econowa Market, Alaba International Market, and World Bank Market, as well as other locations of the town, commercial and other activities have picked up in full in some areas and partially in others. Residents say they are no more being chased by unforeseen elements on such days.
We are now kind of okay, we feel comfortable, like people are coming to markets on Mondays, unlike others, because other Mondays you hardly see people.
Some traders now freely display their wares, or internal transportations go on, school children still go to school, and workers report to work at the State Secretariat on Monday.
Control na hebasara iwe n'ọdịnụlọ mere na-apụtazi n'ụtụtụ Monday ọbụla.
Sometimes on Mondays, some hoodlums take the advantage, to attack people. And when this attack, comes, you don't know that, their side it is coming from, whether it's from the government or from hoodlums. So as a result of that, some now took it on their own that they will not be coming out on Mondays.
The residents say Owerri Metropolis is obviously more secure than most parts of the state and call on Governor Hope Uzodinma to improve in the fight against insecurity in some troubled areas of Olo and Osu.
I know that for us to move around this place on Mondays, people in Olo doesn't have that advantage.
Insecurity in Osu.
As Owerri comes, the prayers on the lips of residents is that whatever will make for a return of such uncomfortable situation will never rear its head again. In Owerri, for News Central, Chinwe Ugele.
The Israeli government has assured of its commitment to building a capacity of medical practitioners in Nigeria's health sector. This was during a symposium in the nation's capital, Abuja, where Israeli surgeons performed several pancreatic surgeries on citizens with the aim of building the capacity of their Nigerian counterparts. Amadine Uyi tells us more.
The pancreas is the gland in the abdomen that produces enzymes for digestion and hormones that regulate blood sugar. It is located behind the stomach and when usually affected by a disease, needs very complex surgical procedures which cannot be done in the country because of a lack of capacity. In a bid to reverse this trend, the Israeli government is partnering with Nigeria to build local capacity of health practitioners to perform surgical procedures related to pancreatic ailments.
What's our vision? What's our dream? Our dream is that Nigeria becomes a centre of excellence. Our dream is that people come on medical tourism to Nigeria, not from Nigeria.
But we want to create a hub as a capacity-based, a resource centre where all others in Nigeria will come and learn from it. And so it's not only limited to people that will have access in FCT, but beyond FCT.
Several Israeli doctors arrived for this symposium and also performed some complex surgeries on the pancreas of affected citizens to teach their counterparts in Nigeria on the way it is being done.
And one of the areas we identified was the hepato-pancreatic area, and so it's been a real privilege for us to be able to bring two leading surgeons from Israel to come here for a number of days. They carried out 4 very complex surgeries, and all the patients are healthy and came through the surgery, but they also worked with Nigerian doctors to help train them to build capacity in Nigeria.
The pancreatic problem, whether it becomes a tumor, it becomes a cancer, it's always very difficult to detect it. So early detection is very important. And unfortunately, we don't detect that so early because of limited capacities. And even when we detect the intervention, what it aids in surgery, it's also very limited. One, because of issues of capacities within our healthcare providers. Secondly, also issues of affordability is a very important expensive surgical interventions.
The Israeli ambassador to Nigeria says that he is positive that this collaboration will present a win-win situation for both countries.
And we hope this will be the beginning of a long-term relationship, a long-term partnership, where we can help Nigeria build capacity.
With this knowledge transfer, it is hoped that ailments affecting the pancreas, which usually needs surgical procedures outside the country, will now be treated in Nigerian hospitals. In Abuja for News Central, I am Amadine Uyi.
The news returns shortly. The Congolese community in Nigeria has called for an end to the war ravaging the Democratic Republic of Congo. Members of the community converged on Abuja for a prayer session to bring an end to the war, saying that the situation is dire as millions have been killed following attacks by M23 rebels and forces suspected to be from neighboring Rwanda. Let's also tell you that Nigeria has signed a sea lift MOU with the African Union. This is according to Nigeria's Minister of Defense. It is saying it is a commitment to come to the aid of the continental body whenever called upon, especially in the deployment of the African Standby Force. The minister, while speaking in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, says that this is proof of the nation's capacity and reliability whenever called upon. European leaders are meeting in Paris to address the unexpected shift in U.S. policy regarding the war in Ukraine. This meeting comes as high-level U.S. and Russian diplomats prepare for their first talks aimed at ending the ongoing conflict. U.S. President Donald Trump has sidelined Ukraine and its European allies, recently reaching out to Russian President Vladimir Putin to discuss potential negotiations. A summit hosted by French President Emmanuel Macron will involve leaders from several European countries and heads of EU institutions. This meeting is taking place as the war nears its 3rd anniversary. In addition, British Prime Minister Keir Starmer expressed willingness to deploy troops if necessary for the continent's collective security, while Ukrainian President Zelensky plans a visit to Saudi Arabia later this week. In the meantime, Russia's Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov has dismissed the involvement of European nations in potential Ukraine ceasefire talks, accusing them of seeking to prolong the conflict rather than resolve it. His remarks come as European leaders gather in Paris for an emergency summit on Ukraine, while he prepares for a visit to Saudi Arabia for discussions with U.S. officials. Lavrov criticized Europe's handling of the crisis since Russia's annexation of Crimea in 2014, saying the continent had its chance to resolve the conflict but failed.
Какая-то присутствовала на переговорах об урегулировании относительно того, что какие-то территории нужно еще уступить. Уступить-то как? С людьми, с русскими? Или без людей? С одними редкоземельными металлами. Никто про вот эти вот права человека, закрепленные, еще раз скажу, в уставе ООН, не вспоминает. А только говорят, вот надо территориальные уступки, наверное. Для чего? Для того, чтобы там вот так же русских уничтожали, как сейчас их уничтожают в Курской области и в других областях Российской Федерации. И когда такой нацистский режим накачивается вооружениями для того, чтобы убивать своих собственных граждан,
Business news is next. Stay with us.
Business news in association with Money Master PSB, the easy way to master your money.
In the world of business, the African Union has named Nigeria the Digital Trade Champion for Africa under the After Digital Trade Protocol, recognizing its leadership in advancing digital enterprise and innovation, as stated in the State House press release. At the 38th AU Assembly in Addis Ababa, former President of Niger Republic, Muhammadu Yusufu, praised Nigeria's efforts, including hosting the Digital Economy Roundtable for driving the protocol's implementation. Now, the initiative aims to boost Africa's digital economy, creating jobs, fostering innovation, and attracting investment in public digital infrastructure. UK government departments face possible budget cuts of up to 11% as Prime Minister Keir Starmer prioritizes increasing defense spending. Now, the Treasury has instructed non-protected services, excluding health, education, and defense, to prepare for either a 5% or 11% inflation-adjusted reduction ahead of a spending review in June. Now, while defense spending is set to rise to 22.5% of GDP, unprotected areas like local government and culture face further cuts, intensifying financial pressures. The Nigerian equities market experienced a downturn on Monday, February 17, 2025. Now, for the all-share index, it fell by 0.11%, closing at 107,937.74 basis points. Now, this represents 4.87 year-to-date return. As for the decline, it was mirrored in the market capitalization, which increased by 70 billion naira to 67.345 trillion naira. Now, trading activities also slowed down, with market turnover falling slightly to 12.807 billion naira from 12.924 billion naira. Now, let's look at the sectoral performance. As you can see here, we have different categories here for the banking and insurance and also oil and gas. There was a dip there in the trade values, you can see. As for positives, you have that for the consumer goods, which rose by plus 1.35% change there. And also for the industrial goods, there was a change there, slight change of 0.12% for industrial goods. And that's a wrap for business tonight.
Business news in association with Money Master PSB, the easy way to master your money.
Onye joins us now for some sports stories. Onye, what do you have for us tonight?
I've got some news around table tennis. Five-time African champion Mbandwe Ward, he will be on the quest to defend his title in Tunis. It will be the first table tennis event for the ITT Africa Cup in Tunisia. So we cannot wait to see him go there, go ahead with the best in table tennis, and then prove that he's still Nigeria's #1 and Africa's #1 player. But I'll bring you more shortly.
Sports Update, brought to you by Corn Oil. Corn Oil, we go the extra mile.
In the world of sport, defending champion Nigeria's Mbandwe Ward and Egypt's Dino Meshref, they are set to defend their titles at the 2025 ITT Africa Cup in Tunisia from February 25 to 27. Aruna will renew his long-term rivalry with Egypt's Omar Assar. Aruna, the most decorated player in the tournament's history, has won the title 5 times. Assar has also claimed the title 5 times, but Aruna has appeared in more finals than Assar. On the women's side, 9-time champion Dino Meshref will defend her crown against rising star and compatriot Hannah Goder, the continent's #1 ranked player, and 2024 runners-up Myra Arodabi. Semi-finalists in both the men and women's event will secure their places at the expanded ITTF World Cup in Macau later in the year. Chairman of the National Sport Commission, Malam Shehu Diko, has reiterated the Commission's disposition towards grassroots sport development, backed by a majority of domestic tournaments by various sports and federations. In his opinion, this will help keep the athletes competitive while also discovering fresh talents to replace aging ones. Diko made the comments at the heels of the impressive performance of Nigeria's badminton player at the All-African Senior Badminton Championship in Douala, Cameroon, where the team finished 3rd in the overall table. Anwoluakpo won a 5th consecutive gold medal in the men's single event, while the men's double and mixed doubles team each won bronze medals. The Refereeing Development Committee of the Nigerian Football Federation has suspended referee Wilfred Chawe from officiating in the National League, that's the NNL matches. According to the committee, the decision was taken due to Chawe's questionable officiating during the match between Solution FC and Godswill Apabio FC played at the Akwa Ibom Stadium on Saturday, February 15, 2025. The referee reportedly awarded an unjustified penalty, which was not in line with the laws of the game. The committee stated that Chawe's action not only influenced the outcome of the match unfairly, but also brought the game to disrepute. And now the Football Association is investigating an alleged racist remark, of course, directed at Burnley's midfielder Hannibal Majri during Saturday's match against Preston North End. Majri accused Preston militant Osmajic of making a racist comment during the goalless draw at Deepdale. While Osmajic had strongly denied the claim, Majri immediately reported the incident to referee Andrew Kitchen. The FA is awaiting the official match report, while Burnley has pledged full support for the 22-year-old. Both teams will face up with each other at the FA Cup for the 5th round on March 1, 2025. And finally, in the world of sport, Saudi Arabia's SRJ Sport Investment, a subsidiary of the country's public investment fund, has acquired a minority stake in sports streaming service DAZN for a reported $1 billion after months of speculation. Acquiring a stake in DAZN will allow Saudi Arabia to amplify the sporting ambitions, as Saudi Pro League clubs have invested significantly in playing talent, while the PIF has bankrolled the LIV Golf Tour, acquired Premier League soccer club Newcastle United, and become a sponsor of the ATP and WTA tennis tours. The transaction strengthens ties between Saudi Arabia and DAZN, which already broadcast a range of sport from the country, including Saudi Arabian Pro League, Saudi-funded boxing bouts, and the Six Kings Slam for the tennis exhibition event. And that's it in the world of sport. I am Onyinyechi Obaro.
Sports Update, brought to you by Corn Oil. Corn Oil, we go the extra mile.
I have Sam Dandy joining us now for the latest in entertainment. I hear it's a rain of awards for some Nigerians.
Well, TikTok has put out a 2025 list, all right, of content creators to discover. And out of 50, well, there are 2 Nigerians who make the top 6, which is incredible. We're not surprised. Nigerians are hardworking and super talented.
There is no spare. You don't find us.
We'll bring you all the details after this quick break.
Entertainment news in association with Glow Unlimited.
And now in entertainment, TikTok's 2025 Global Discover list includes 6 standout content creators from sub-Saharan Africa. Now recognized across 5 categories. Now TikTok did put out categories including icons, innovators, foodies, educators, and originators. Nigerian creators Tosin Samuel from Nigeria in the foodies category and Charity AKZ from Nigeria in icons. Now they join other African creators selected like Roy Kani from Kenya in educators, Abena Amoko Sintim Agboye from Ghana in foodies. There's also Fanuel Masamaki from Tanzania in innovators and Tato Seth Matobela, in South Africa as part of originators. Now their content ranges from tech to culinary, storytelling to sports, commentary, and viral music trends. I think this is incredible because, we all watch food content, and this is not the only type of content. There's dance, there's music.
I can't tell you the amount of videos I have of recipes that I haven't tried from TikTok.
But it's also so beautiful because everyone has the potential to be a content creator, You can post content, I can post content, and the numbers that they're raking in, millions and millions. It's so impressive, honestly.
I hope they don't take down that platform because some people will go broke.
Well, true. I mean, especially when it comes to making money. A lot of Nigerians are hoping that very soon we can make money properly from posting videos like international people, of course, are making this.
Amen to that.
Amen to that. Well, let's move from that one. Kamala Harris will make her first major appearance since leaving office to accept the Chairman's Award at the 56th NAACP Image Awards set for the 22nd of this month, February. Now, the award honors individuals excelling in public service and driving meaningful change, with past recipients including Barack Obama, Al Gore, and Rep. John Lewis. Harris, the first woman, Black and South Asian vice president, is being recognized for her legacy of advocacy and commitment to justice, equity, and progress. Now, the ceremony will air live from Pasadena, California, and will feature other special awards recipients, including, of course, the incredible Dave Chappelle, and then the Wayans family, who are phenomenal for their work, in pushing comedy. And of course, non-televised categories will also be announced virtually between the 18th of February to 21st. I think this is incredible, because I know people say this a lot. Awards shouldn't define you if you do your work properly. Even if you don't get, appreciated with an award, it should encourage you to keep doing your work. But getting an award must feel really good.
I'm sure she deserves it, to be honest. And to be fair, she has her place in the U.S. history, however you look at it.
Right. I mean, I think one thing that actually caught my attention, of course, besides Kamala Harris, who was doing incredible work, like you said, is the Wayans family. Now, most people need to pay more attention because the entire family has done so much for entertainment. A lot of them, of course, from senior to junior, all of them have played so much parts from movies to comedy. And I think to see that, not just Black people, who have done incredible work from different parts of entertainment are being given credit for their work over the many years.
I mean, to get recognized for the work that you do just gives you that added to do more. It doesn't take away from your knowledge. It is the standard that you've put up that's getting you those recognition in the first place. Where awards matter, not the one you buy.
Right. Well, I would certainly do matter. And I think the NAACPs, we've seen Nigerians win this in the past, from Thames, who honestly has just taken us to another level, and I think people will start to argue now, being that Afrobeats and our music has been exported like this, winning awards, that maybe we'll also see Nollywood, getting this nature of, a recognition all around the world.
Oh, yes, I have no doubt. If we can get our acts together in another decade, that's too far. That's too far. We'll
Maybe
be
5 years.
Yes, we'll be winning more awards, and the quality of our production has gone up there.
I agree.
And we still have the shabby ones.
Well, that's absolutely the most we can take on entertainment. My name is Sam Dandy, of course.
Entertainment news in association with Glow Unlimited.
And that's all the news we have for you tonight. But before we go, here's a reminder of our top stories. Lagos lawmakers passed vote of confidence in new Speaker Mojisola Miranda following invasion of the Assembly by men of the state service. Federal government calls for humane process as United States sets to deport 85 Nigerians. European Union holds emergency summit in Paris as Ukraine and Russia prepare for peace talks. You can catch up on all the latest news by watching News Central live on DSTV channel 422, Star Times channel 274, or also on Avo TV and YouTube. Thank you very much for your time. Have a good night.